What is going on, guys? Cbasszu again. So after numerous requests on making a Arcane Mage PvP guide, I've decided to finally make one. I love my Arcane Mage. I've been playing Arcane since probably Wrath of the Lich King in PvP, even though it was shit before. But anyways, let's get to it. Alright. We're going to start by the talents. Normal talents, you want to go with Amplification. The other two, I mean, you could use Arcane Familiar, but that's a different spec that I might eventually cover. But for now, we'll just stick to the normal spec. Amplification, missiles, 12% more damage. Obviously, that's the way to go. After that, you want to go with Shimmer. Gives you a total of 4 blink. So you blink forward. I'll show you guys. Blink forward, blink back, blink forward, blink forward. So that's pretty powerful. After that, you want to play with a Canter's Flow. I've been trying to play with Rune of Power sometimes, but it's just as an Arcane Mage, you move so much that Rune of Power can be quite useless. But depending on what you're fighting, that might be the choice, actually. Level 60 talents. I'd say probably 90 to 95% of the time I go with Resonance. If I play 2s and I play with another DPS, I might attempt to use Charge Up. Whenever you click that, it gives you instantly 4 arcane charge, so you can open right away with a lot of burst. But all the other time, I always use Resonance because what it does is every target that it hits, you get more damage. You get 25% more damage per target it hits. So that's pretty powerful, especially whenever you're fighting hunters, affliction warlocks, anything really, because you just use Arcane Barrage so often that it just does so much damage. Pretty crazy. It's always like my top 3 spells the most damage, so pretty powerful. 75 tier. You can play around with Ring of Frost and Chrono Shift. I just like to move so much that Ring of Frost I don't like because I'd have to sit and cast it. People can just blink out or move out. So, I mean, unless you're going to use it whenever you stealth, might be good, but talents of choice personally is Chrono Shift. It slows the enemy down by 50% whenever you use a barrage, Arcane Barrage on them, and you gain 50% more speed for 5 seconds, so it's pretty powerful. Level 90. Now, I'm going to be running the spec with Charged Up. I'm mostly going to be using Unstable Magic with it. It has 28% chance to explode on impact, dealing a 50% additional damage, so that's quite powerful. But all the other times that I'm using Resonance, I'll be using Erosion. Just because it does like dot damage, so it's pretty powerful. On the 100 tier, Arcane Orb, regardless, it gives you orbs whenever you hit the person. So every person you hit, you get an orb. Plus, regardless of whenever you use it, you get an orb for using it. So let's say you use it, you get 2 targets, and you already have 3 orbs. Pretty powerful. You can use Overpowered. That's a different spec that I'll eventually get into it, but not today. Okay, now Honor Talents. Tier 1 is preference. I move around depending on what I'm fighting. Tier 2, Mind Quickness, definitely. Increase AIDS by 6%. It's just so much better. You're never going to be not attacked as Arcane Mage. If you are, then this I've just never used because, well, it's rare that it'll be 80% health. So, yeah. This one, I always like to play around. If I play against like Cleaves, I do like to use this. Some people might argue, but I like it because getting interrupted or silenced or anything after the first time get reduced by 70% for 8 seconds, so it's quite powerful. Fighting a Frost Mage, I like to use this because if I see Ebon Bolt casting on me, blink, for the next 2 seconds I take 50% that damage. That's pretty powerful. Or even Glacial Spike or Full Moon from a balanced Druid. It's pretty powerful. Now this one, obviously you can use all of them. I'd say probably 80% of the time I use Temp Shield. All the damage that you take for 6 seconds whenever you pop it, you gain it back, so it's very powerful. When we play Warlocks, Affliction Warlocks, or Shadow Priest, I might opt in for this. 20% less damage to dots, so it's pretty powerful. I have started to use it less, just because Temp Shield is already very powerful. But Klepto, if I'm fighting, let's say, a Resto Druid, I will use most of the time Kleptomania, just because if I'm bursting someone and the Druid just pops a lot of hots on them, I'll just steal it one shot, I steal all the dots, or the hots, so it's pretty powerful. Now this here, Storm of the Week all the time. It's just so much more powerful. 15% increased damage whenever your targets are slowed. You always want to slow them with the spell. So yeah, that's pretty powerful. With the spec, with 4 orbs, you might want to use this one. Arcane Power, 5 fewer seconds, but damage increased by 10%. It is good for that bursting spec, but other than that, I never used it. And last year, I don't even play around with these. I always go Mass Invis. Allows you to get a second Invis, less long, but a second Invis for 5 seconds. And you can cast one spell invisible. So sometimes I'll cast a Sheep, I'll cast a Mark of Lunate, depending on what I do. So yeah, anyways, let's get back into this game now. As an Arcane Mage, you're not going to do damage if you don't have 4 orbs. That's whatever you do, you're not going to do damage. So normally what I'd like to do, I start off the game, okay, I get invisible, position myself. I like to sit by pillars so I can just blink on the side if ever they are focusing me. Afterwards, I'll often use a Arcane Orb, and I'll do the double Arcane Explosion, Mass Invis, Mark of Luneth, Arcane Power, Arcane or Presence of Mind, double Arcane, then they're basically dead. And I still had 3 Arcane Missiles, right? So it's quite a lot of damage. Obviously this is World PvP, so it does a little bit more damage, but if someone sits there and I do my old rotation, well, I kill them regardless. So it is pretty powerful. So once again, Invis, Arcane Orb, double Arcane Explosion gives you 4 stacks. Then you want to pop Mass Invis, Mark of Luneth, Arcane Power, Presence of Mind, double Arcane Blast, and you'll most likely have 3 Arcane Missiles or 3 procs. You want to do that. Afterwards, you want to go Arcane Barrage, which will just slow them down and do like 600,000 damage plus. And then if they're not dead, Arcane Orb again, Arcane Explosion, Arcane Barrage, Arcane Explosion, Arcane Explosion, Arcane Explosion, Arcane Barrage. Then if you can get another Mark of Luneth, another Presence of Mind. Basically, you never want to use Mark of Luneth and Arcane Blast or your instant Arcane Blast unless you have 4 orbs. That's the rule of thumb. Or else that's completely useless. But yeah, that's the Arcane Mage guide. Obviously, never forget to counterspell. I can steal this dot. See? Hold the dot. But anyways, guys, that's the guide. I hope you guys enjoy. If you have any other questions, please feel free to ask me. I do play now a Mistweaver Monk, Windwalker Monk, Holy Paladin. I started playing a little bit of not Death Knight, sorry, Demon Hunter. I'm still new to it, so I'm never gonna make a guide for that. But yeah, that's what I main right now. If you guys are interested in any other guides, please feel free to let me know. I also play Frost. I don't play Fire, so don't ask for a guide for that because I'm gonna be completely useless. But for a Frost guide, feel free to ask, and I shall make one upon request. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, and peace.